fantasy episode of Jim Minton Sports. I am Scotty here, joined as always with Lucky and Ekman. What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Pretty
That's
good.
awesome. Good. All right, guys. Also, if you see a QR code popping up during the show, that is just if you want to donate to the show, help us out so we can continue to bring you more content. We appreciate that. If not, no big deal. Hope you enjoy the show. But coming up on the show today, so some of the topics we have is the whatnot card that was stolen, the whatnot watch that they're going to be introducing now, the new Netflix show that's going to do with sports cards. We're going to go over who we think is going to win the baseball divisions this year, and then we're just going to talk about some of the stuff that we've been having going on for the week. So the first thing I do want to touch on, and I'll start with you, Lucky, is what do you think about what happened with the downtown that was stolen
Um,
on whatnot?
it was very big shady stuff. I mean, you can clearly see the guy did it intentionally, and I did see the apology letter, which okay, dear certified buyer, whatever, I don't know. It just seems all sketchy. Seems like the person running that page knows more than he let on, and I mean, they definitely took it.
Yeah, I
So
guess I probably should have talked about it a little bit more before I asked you guys' opinion. For those of you that don't know what happened, there was a break, and the breaker hit a downtown. Now he didn't show the entire card; no one knew what player it was, but you can tell it's a downtown as he started to slowly reveal the card. He took the card off off camera. Go ahead and he threw in a sheesh with it as he did it because obviously it was a big hit and just continue to break like nothing happened. Now, these people claim that it was a new employee. He was supposed to be monitored. He wasn't. From what I understand, he has been fully kicked off of whatnot. He's no longer going to be allowed on there. Now, the people that were in the break, they were each refunded in full, given $50 of whatnot credit, and then also they were each given a box of 2022 Topps Chrome. So I do feel that whatnot did make it right. My problem is that the person that hit the downtown. Now this is football, so downtowns do go for quite a lot, and depending on the player. I mean, you're talking about a lot of money, and it doesn't matter how much money whatnot would have given you. I don't know. Now, the rumor from what I've heard is that it was a Joe Burrow. How true that is, I don't know. There was a room talking about it last night. But those are all the details I know. But Ekman, what do you think about it?
Um, yeah. So one, why would you sit there and yell like she's like? Why would you sit there and say anything if you already plan on basically putting that card to the side? Like
right.
that made absolutely no sense to me why he acted like that. Then when he put it away, then he went and started opening another pack. And I only saw one video that went this far, but then like people were actually in the thing saying like show the downtown, whatever. And he said like you're not gonna see the downtown.
Yep.
Like it makes like you have to know right at that point, like you're screwed as a seller. Like it makes no sense. Like it's not gonna work out in your favor. Um so reality or wait, is it reality? What is it? Oh, what's the name of that stream? What was
Oh,
the name of
Whatnot.
the
Reality King, or what was it?
No.
Oh, are you talking about the breaker?
Yeah,
Yeah, he kept saying it in the
Yeah,
very beginning.
Retail King. He's the Retail
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 King.
Kings.
King.
So that's actually who's banned on Whatnot is the Retail Kings platform. Apparently, the guy that did the apology, he like runs Retail Kings platform. He's saying that his employee was fired. So Retail Kings is actually banned on Whatnot. I think the guy that like did the apology thing is trying to save face right now because they're actually banned on Whatnot. It's not just that seller, it's their company's actually banned. He's saying that he was an employee of the company. So he's trying to save face. But here's the thing. Like, I guess if you break with them all the time, like you might know their voice, stuff like that. But like he's just basically it could have been him, it could have been anybody else. And also he said that the guy should have been supervised, which I'm assuming means that someone should have been in there with them. So it sounds like they have like an office, like kind of like backyard breaks or some of these other guys. Like they all go into this one place and they do their breaks from there, and there should be more than one or two people in there like working with. So that all sounds really, really fishy to me. It kind of makes me feel like they did this and they're trying to cover it up and say that was an employee so they can get their stream back and say that they fired like that employee that did that when I think it was just them as a company, and I think they should be banned off of there for sure. I honestly think that people should find out who they are outside of just their whatnot stream. They should find out who they are in social media, just like on TikTok, stuff like that, so they can't be. I mean, obviously you can't stop them from selling forever, but I mean, people shouldn't be buying off them ever. I mean,
I think that the owner definitely knows more about it, and maybe he fired the employee, whatever. But let me ask you this: How much does a Joe Burrow downtown go for?
I don't know. But I'm assuming
roughly. What do you think it would go
I don't
for?
know.
Probably
Let me
hundreds.
find out.
Hundreds.
I'm assuming hundreds.
Getting your whole platform banned for $700.
Well,
it could be thousands. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
If you make thousands of dollars a stream, what is that one? It's not $1 million card. It ain't worth it. I'm a low budget breaker. I don't do huge breaks, and I have the same people. I would never steal a card just because it is what it is.
Even the way that
These people are stupid.
Even the way that he stole it just makes no sense. Like,
right?
I'm not even a criminal, and I at least know that like you don't do it that way. Like, if you're gonna do it smart. Like, don't do it like
maybe
that.
Maybe that guy thinks that if he didn't show the card, no matter what he said, maybe he thought, well, it's my word against theirs. This stream isn't being recorded, which it is. You know, you could still find that in the cloud, but maybe he just thought, well, I'm not showing it, so it don't matter what I say. It's their word against mine. They never saw a downtown, but
so it's gonna depend on the downtown, like the short prints, like this one right here, 2020 downtown Donruss downtown super short print for like his rookie went for $4,000.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I'm assuming like it's probably $1,000 card, but like you said, like that stream alone. If like, and obviously it's a bigger company or not. I mean, I don't know how big it is, but you know what I mean? It's a company that's big enough to have employees. So they're making enough money that a $5,000 card or lower is probably not making them rich. I mean, they're probably already making way more than that anyway, so they don't really need to do that. But the whole thing just didn't make sense. And then whenever he came out with the apology, the first thing I thought was you say it's an employee and you say you let that employee go, but now like your stream's banned, so you want to get your stream back on, and you basically want to say that like it was an employee, which it could have been an employee, but doesn't mean that employee is actually gone, because nobody knows the face of the person unless like maybe you know them personally or something like that.
Or unless they're on Twitch or something as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
my favorite part was just how like he was nonchalant about it. Like he just took it off.
Yeah.
And then he just started ripping off the next. And he's like, "Let's go, guys!" And he's just like ripping off the next pack. Like, what do you mean, let's go?
And then someone asks about it, and he's like, "You're not gonna see that DT." Like he was just like didn't care. He was like, "Okay, cool. You're not gonna see it."
Yeah,
so.
that'd be awful, man.
Do you guys ever watch South Park?
Yeah, I haven't watched it lately, but yeah, I have seen it.
There was an episode with the BP oil spill. You remember that one?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The apology letter reminded me of that owner laying like by the fireplace, like sorry. Like,
yeah,
sorry. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Regardless, no apology is going to make up for that, because I mean, when you think about it, when you get into a break, you're already kind of taking a risk. And I know, like when I get into breaks, like if they're outside of like Lucky's breaks, I mainly get into it because I'm just bored. But at the same time, it's kind of like you just can't apologize for that. And even with Whatnot, now the people who weren't hitting anything during that break, I'm sure they were super happy with Whatnot gave them. Because they ended up being the ones coming up. But like I said, whoever hit that downtown, was going to get paid. They were going to make their money and do whatever. And it just, I don't know. I think it's bullshit. I just don't think that stuff like that it's going to ruin breaking. And I've heard a lot of comments from a lot of people going into like watching it like on TikTok and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying they're getting out of breaks for that exact reason, because they don't feel like their cards are being handled right. You have like, even on top of that, like there's a lot of breakers that send your cards out crappy. I've gotten stuff. I got stuff. I was in a Bowman break. It was probably like a good year ago. And I hit some decent cards. One of them being a first Bowman auto. I can't remember the player. I actually still have the card. I have to look for it. But the guy didn't top load a single one of my cards, including the auto. He just shoved it in the middle of all of my other cards. Everything was just penny sleeved. Well, some of them were penny sleeved, not even everything. and
Oh,
he threw
wow.
it in, and he just threw it in a mailer, and off it went.
That's crazy.
But I see that a lot, and I make notes when stuff comes. I have a list of it's over my drawer, but I have a list of people I won't buy from anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I pretty much only give someone one chance, because you already have my money. Fool me once, what is it? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, or
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's the other way around. But regardless, it just you should only give a breaker one chance, because there's so many breakers out there that are really good that won't screw you over. There's no point in taking your money to another breaker that's just going to screw you over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah, but that's a good way to go into our next subject. So the next topic we're going to talk about now, Whatnot is introducing their what it's called the Whatnot Watch. So basically, what they're going to do is you can apply, and you can basically monitor breaks. They're going to have you go in and just kind of periodically shuffle through breaks, make sure everything's going good. There's no issues going on with breakers and stuff like that. So now breakers are going to fully be watched. Now, how many of these people they have at one time, I do not know. Whether it's just going to be just in sports, or if they're going to be watching everything on Whatnot, because I'm sure there's other issues that are going on within Whatnot. I'm sure it's just not
Oh,
just
yeah.
breaking.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, if you think about what Whatnot sells, I mean, you can find so much stuff there. I know
Oh, you
they're.
got.
Have you guys gone in and done like the shoes or like the clothing or anything like that?
I've
Yeah, I was
seen it.
just gonna say I was on. So like, obviously I'm in the flea market business now. So like I was on the other day, and let me see if I can find it here. So if you go to all categories on Whatnot, you can go to anywhere from rocks and crystals, home and garden, food and drink. Like food and drink, like they can sell like cases of like chips and stuff on there, sports equipment, antiques, video games, movies, books, music. Like it's far from just sports cards. It's just obviously what we're into, so that's like what we really pay attention to. But like there's so much more on Whatnot that sports cards probably, I mean, it's probably their biggest market on there, but it's far from like the only thing that they have on there. So they have so much stuff on there, it's unreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I've been watching a lot of their, like they have storage units and estate sales. So I've been trying to check those out a lot
That's right
because
up your alley there, Josh.
yeah, well that, and I
Did you
also
say
try going,
storage units?
yeah, so you know how you can buy a storage unit out,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you guys, I haven't checked lately, but yeah, as of yesterday, that thing was up over 10,000 for that whole storage unit of sports
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, that
I
was.
a-
Why don't you talk about that? That's actually pretty. I thought that was pretty awesome. The fact that whole thing was full like that.
Oh yeah. So I've never bought a storage unit yet. I've been looking and I want to buy one here eventually. But I was on a website where you can buy it like storage unit auctions online, and there was one in North Carolina, and I very rarely find sports cards in these storage units that are so like in the open that you can tell it's a sports card box or something like that. Well, I happened to come across this one the other day, and it was literally full as a 10 by 10 full to the top of just sports card boxes. Most people are going to think right off the bat that it's all base or all 80s and 90s and junk, which probably a lot of it is. But as I looked more into the pictures, um, like you could see like there was like cases. Now they weren't open, or some of them could have been a little bit open. There was cases of like sealed product, so you just never know what you're gonna get in some of these things. The last time I looked, it was at 10,000, and it was still like 10 days left to go. I'm gonna check here and see if I can find out where it's at. But I made a bet with the one guy that I work with at the flea market. I was thinking it was gonna go for like around 10,000. He's thinking 20,000. His number's looking a lot better now because
I
of
think you
where
guys
it's
gonna
at
be
now.
right in between. I could see about $14,000-$15,000 because it has a
Yeah.
couple days
For base
days
cards.
left. Yeah. Well, you know what? So he was still showing some of those cases look to be unopened.
All right, so
There was
as of right
boxes
now,
of
with 6
cases in
days
there.
left to go, as of right now, with 6 days left to go, it's at 10,000, 1,100. So, I mean, 6 days left. It's probably easy. It's going to get to 15,000 for sure. I was a buyer at 5,000, so I'm glad it's that high because then like I don't have to sit there and sweat out. Like if it went to 6, and I was like, oh man, I should have spent that extra 1,000. So, but no, that's the thing. Like I can't even say what you're going to get in it because Like it could be all base. It could be. It's a private seller too. So someone could just like went through a bunch of stuff, put it in a storage unit, and put it up, and they know themselves that there's nothing good in there. Now, for me as a flea market buyer, like this would probably I'd still have to value it all out, but like this actually wouldn't be that bad because I'd sell it by the box. I sell like 30, 80, $100 boxes full of cards, even if it's base, like people buy that stuff. It just depends what someone wants to do. But there was a case. I can't get enough like clear enough pictures for the case, but there was actually cases of sealed product in there. And it looked like it was like probably blaster box cases, but I'm not really sure. I can't see well enough to see what it is, but yeah, I think that's wild that you can get like storage units like that. And that's where like on Whatnot, they have people will buy a storage unit, go on Whatnot, and they'll sell every item out of the storage unit they just bought just on Whatnot. And you can go and you can watch those. You can go and watch estate sales and all these different things. And my thinking has been lately, and I haven't got lucky with it yet, but my thinking has been lately is a lot of the sports cards people are over watching the sports cards or Pokemon people because I'm probably as big into Pokemon now as I am sports cards. Um, they're all over watching all that stuff where if I can go into these like off the wall type things and try to maybe find like some deals on sports cards or Pokemon and do it that way. I found some things, but nothing good enough yet that has caught my eye.
Like the comic books that you were talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got that
Good
was
deal.
just that was at like one of my local collectible shops down here. I got like 450 comics for 25 cents a piece, and I'll sell them in my flea market for like around $1 a piece. It's because you find people that basically are just trying to bulk things out and get rid of it, which is nice.
Yeah, that's always nice. So I wanted to go into the card show that I went to yesterday. You guys, I'm gonna start off with me and my brother have a huge regret. Okay, and I want to talk about this because when he watches this, he's gonna chuckle. So we were at a table. They were doing a Christian McCaffrey helmet giveaway. Okay, now it's not a 49er. It was a Carolina Panthers. So what it is every $5 spent, you get a raffle ticket. Okay. So we were going through like his dollar box and like other things, and we went to like he had his memorabilia and autographs separate. We ran across the Magic Johnson auto. Now it's on a leaf. It was 1 out of 3. I was like, and he had it for $100. And I'm like, okay, that seems pretty fair. So we looked it up, and actually the comps were lower. They were right around 80 for it. So I was telling my brother, I was like, should we go halfers on it? See if he'll lower the price and go halfers on it. And so we kept looking through the box, and we ended up putting it back in the end. My brother just bought one, I think it was a Kyle Wright card from him for $5. So he got a ticket, right? The dude does the drawing at 2:00. We were still there. We were eating at the time. So he walked over there to do the drawing. My brother, it was 6 numbers higher than what my brother's card was. If we had bought the Magic Johnson, we would have won the helmet. And the helmet, we looked it up, and the helmet goes for like $240. So it wouldn't have mattered on the Magic Johnson. We could have just, because the whole thing was it was in really good condition. We were going to take it and slab it up and sell it for a profit that way. But it was kind of towards the end of the show. I had already gone over to the limit of what I wanted to spend. So I was kind of like real iffy on it. And my brother still had other tables he wanted to go look at. So that was another reason we passed on it. But so, I mean, if you really think about it, if we had bought that card, we would have gotten not only the helmet, we could have slabbed that up. We probably could have profited like easily like $300 if we had done that. So we were we were just kicking ourselves that we didn't do it. So that was
a great deal there.
But there's a lot of different things, and Lucky, you should take this to your card show because there is a line on all these to do this. And I thought this was really good. So these guys had you can spin a wheel. You pay a certain amount of dollars, you spin a wheel. Well, this first one I went to, right? This guy had a really good deal. He had a whole case of slabs. Now they were all football and basketball. Obviously, I don't collect that stuff, but I know the value of it. So it was $10 a spin. And the more you spend, the better deals you got. So he had one where it was $35. You get 4 spins. You get to keep 3 items of what you spun for. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. First spin, I hit a PSA slab. and it's one of like the skinny ones. It's just like skinny. You know how like they divide like a full thing into like 3 different ones.
Mhm.
I I hit the PSA on my first spin. I ended up grabbing a Justin Fields PSA 10 out of Rookie and Stars. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's a real nice card. I think I might send you guys. I think I sent the picture to you guys.
Yeah.
Didn't I? I think last
Yep.
night.
Yeah,
So
it
the
was real
comps on
nice.
it are like $100.
Wow.
So like right there, just based off of that, I'm going to be up $65. I'm sure the price will go up because actually during the season, it had actually gone for 177.
Wow.
So the comps have
Yeah,
obviously
go
gone
up.
down. Yeah, they always go down during the off season. I don't know why. The player is still the player regardless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait till about camp starts up, and obviously I think the Bears offense is gonna be hyped. So I think Justin Fields card shoot up. I'm hoping to get like 140, 150 off of it.
Yep.
Then I won like a little pack of cards. It was just a random pack. There's a few decent cards in there. I can sell a few of those, and then I won. Actually, I have it right here. I actually grabbed it. I ran. It was like a little collector's item. It's a little.
Oh,
it's
yes.
an art. It's a little R2D2 mug. My stepson loves Star Wars, so I actually grabbed that for him. I'm gonna give that to him. But that I thought was a really good idea because the guy made out regardless. My brother picked one tier higher than me. Oh, that was the other half of it. Every $10 spent, you get your name entered into a drawing. He had 4 slabs that you didn't know what they were. They were covered. And he was going to do a drawing for those at the end of the show. So my brother was like, well, I don't know why you didn't just pick the 40 because you get more spins. He ended up getting like 7 spins and he was able to keep, I think, four items. But anyways, with 7 spins, my brother didn't hit shit.
Oh,
Really?
He didn't. He hit like bronze and silver packs. So like the guy. So the way I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, he got 35 from me. He got 40 from my brother, and the guy before us did. I think it was a $30 one. It didn't win anything.
Oh,
So really,
wow.
the guy's just out like just some basic cards and the slab that he gave me.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just doing that all day. So really, if you think about it, he's not like if he pulled that card and he slabbed it up, really he actually profited still off of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, anyways, I got a phone call last evening, and I won one of the giveaways from that guy. I won a Trevor Lawrence rookie PSA 8, but still, I won it in the
But
giveaway.
still,
It still goes for like $20.
yeah, the base one or
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a base one. Yeah,
Base
it's a
rookie.
base one. But still, I was like,
but
man,
as a giveaway though, you can't beat that.
yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, man, because this guy had a line to do his will. Like he had a line all day. There was like 3 or 4 people always waiting to do it. So I was thinking, I was like, man, this is not a bad idea because if you can just keep that constant flow of people doing this, the
Yeah.
amount of money that you're gonna make
yeah.
based off of like maybe the cards that you sell is gonna be way more, especially if you're like me and you basically sell what you pull.
Yep.
So I was telling my brother we should develop a dice game that
Yeah.
has something like that, and people can do dice
Yeah, that'd be
games like
pretty
that.
cool.
So yeah, it would be. And then I think I had mentioned to you guys I wanted to start picking up vintage, right? Did I talk to you guys about that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
So I want to start. I think I'm still gonna collect modern, but my big thing is I'm gonna start buying vintage now.
Yeah.
So one of the big vintage guy that sells there, I had actually talked to him last show and I wanted to buy with him. Come to find out, my brother actually knew him. My brother works at a dealership. He works in the service department, and the guy is a customer of his. So the guy I apologized to the guy last show. I said, hey, next show I'll be over here. I'm gonna check it out. He says, come over here. I'll give you a great deal. So I go over there, and sure enough, I end up picking up Hank 1961 Topps Hank Aaron All-Star.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a PSA
That's a nice
6
one.
and PSA 6, and I'm not gonna say how much he gave it to me, but he took a lot off. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna tell you that because I told the guy I want to start collecting, and I'll probably be buying more off of him. So he gave me a good deal on the first one. But man, this guy's got some really good cards. I'm just like, oh man. And the reason I want to start collecting vintage is because I feel like vintage cards have more of a story behind them than like the modern era stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like vintage is going to be a much funner
That's
thing to collect.
that's one of my best sellers down there at the market is
Oh
vintage
yeah, I
baseball.
bet.
I have 1950s baseball in there like crazy. I think we pick up one or two like big lots 1950s or 60s baseball, and I'll have it sold within like 2 or 3 days easily. Because I have like one or two people that's all they do is they just buy vintage, and yep, they'll buy it no problem because people just want that. And it's actually down there. It's starting to get harder to find right now. We were picking up like one or two like $300 to $500 or $300 to $500 lots like a month or two ago, like every week. Now like it's harder for us to find stuff. But yeah, if you get your hands on 1950s and 60s baseball, you'll have no problem selling that. Now if you're collecting it though, that's nice too. But yeah, if you're trying to resell it, you'll have no problem selling that stuff back out because people love that vintage.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell any of the vintage. The vintage is purely is really what I want to. And the other reason I want to pick up the vintage is because I feel like eventually that vintage stuff, there's going to be less and less of it to buy. I mean, you can't produce it
Yep.
anymore. You can only pick up what people are willing to sell, and not everyone is willing to sell their vintage stuff.
Yeah.
So eventually, and not only that, it's those cards will never lose their value like the modern era
No.
cards do. You know what I
Nope.
mean? Everything right now is based, if you want to sell stuff, everything is based off of like who's hot right now. It's not like, oh, I think this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think it's ridiculous. Okay, I picked up a Greg Maddux rated rookie card yesterday, and this card was in perfect condition. I'm actually going to send it to get graded. I got it for $5.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, this is a Hall of Famer that we're talking about.
I mean, honestly, and I would honestly think just from my past like selling stuff and whatever, I would think that's even high. Like honestly,
Yeah.
the way people talk about things, like $5, people
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, that's a dollar card. That's a
Yeah,
75-cent card," and it's crazy. It's like a rated rookie.
Yeah.
I understand because obviously the production of it was like there's probably so many of them out there, but at the same time, I get that there's so many out there, but people don't account for though back then how easily people threw cards away. So yeah,
Yep.
they might have made a lot of them, and there might be some like a ton out there still. But there also was a lot thrown away. There's also a lot put in people's bicycle spokes and stuff like that. There was a lot that have been burnt. So there's still value to those 80s and 90s cards. But it just obviously depends on who it is and stuff. But I mean, if I see any rated rookies of those old baseball, those I keep those all the time because people want that stuff still, even to this day.
Oh
But the guy was telling me that he had a whole bunch of that kind of junk wax era. But the guy was telling me, because I found him kind of later in the show, and the guy was telling me, he's like, actually, I've been having pretty good luck selling this stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe it's kids, maybe it's like older guys who like mistreated their cards as when they were young, and now you're able to find cards that are in good condition, and you can sit there and you can now you can buy the stuff for cheap, and it's really in really good condition. Like for me, since I'm a huge Braves fan, like obviously I grew up watching Greg Maddux, so like he's like a guy I collect. And I actually didn't have that particular card, and like I said, it was in really good condition. That's why I didn't mind spending the $5. But like I just find it weird that someone so good, and yeah, it was. There's a lot of them made, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, it's still based. Like you have guys that are willing to spend thousands of dollars on like these prospects who may not turn out to be crap, but then you have a guy that his stats will never change. He is who he is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I've told you guys already how like our sealed like junk wax sells down there, and it's crazy. Like when I first got into this, and I was like, obviously, when I first got into this, I knew like, oh, nobody wants 80s and 90s. Nobody wants 80s and 90s. It's junk. Throw it away, whatever. I started doing this flea market thing, and the guy told me the first time like we started doing this, and even to this day, I think I did it like 2 weeks ago. He goes, "Hey, someone just brought in a bunch of sealed junk wax. I want to buy it. It was like say $200 for like tons of boxes." Right away, my mind goes to, no, that's terrible. We're wasting our money. That's $200 down the drain. And me and him went back and forth. But at the end of the day, I said, all right, go ahead and get it, whatever. I'd be lying if I told you he sold it all, or he sold 50% of it within like 2 days. People came in. There was a guy that came in and spent $200 on just the sealed boxes themselves. Dropped a ton of money on just the sealed boxes because he like resells them also on eBay or something. And then also in our store, we sell them $1 a pack. And anywhere from kids even to adults will come in and they'll pick them up because they sit there and they say, like, the nostalgia of back in the day, they went to the stores and they would buy those packs for like whatever 5 or 10 cents or whatever they were back then. And they say, like, even though they know there's nothing in those packs, like, great, like, you might get a rated rookie, whatever, but like, there's no autos, nothing like that, no numbered cards or anything like that. They say they still like to have them and like open them up because it just brings them back to the old days.
And there's also a lot of air cards that people don't think about. So like, there's a lot of air cards that if you slap them up, yesterday a guy had the Bill Ripken,
on the
bottom.
bat.
Oh yeah,
on the bottom, it says fuckface on the bottom.
Yeah.
Now there's like 4, but people don't know.
I'll put
There's
this
like 4
episode
or
as
5.
explicit.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different. There's 4 or 5 different variations of that card, and believe it or not, that one is not the most expensive. It's the white box.
Yep. Yeah, because there's the white box, the black box, the one with what it says on there, and then I can't remember what the fourth one is, but I know there is another one.
Yeah, there's another one. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, and there's stuff like that. There's you know what? Actually, I think I might have the card right here because I was going through my cards. There's a Randy Johnson. I think I have it right here. Okay, yeah, this one right here. Okay, so this Randy Johnson right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Do you see in the background right here? Do you see this right here? Do you see that logo? You probably can't make out what it is, but you can see that.
No, but I see the logo.
Okay. No, actually, sorry, it's on the other side. You can't see it. It's too dark. It's actually on this side. I was pointing the wrong. Okay. There's a marble cigarette sign behind him. Okay. They got into trouble for printing. Yeah, they got into trouble. I have 2 of them right here with the cigarette, and I have another one without it. So these ones are the ones that go for more money because they're considered the air card because they have it. So there's a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards. There's a Nolan Ryan, I think, in the 1990 score, I think it is. Which one is it? Or maybe it's the 89. There's a Nolan Ryan.
Look up the footballs, the Steve Atwater. I'm not gonna say what it is because we'll really have to make this show rated like RRR. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, look up the Steve Atwater error card and why it's an actual error card because of how his belt hangs off his pants.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll have to look into it. I didn't see that, but yeah, I think that's another thing that I think maybe some people are chasing. They're hoping to hit that air card because some of these air cards, if you can actually slab them up and get PSA 10s, they actually go for like $500, $600, $700. Some of them.
Oh yeah, for
it's
sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, and if you're able to buy the card for super cheap, then why not? You know what I mean? So yeah, as much as people want to hate on that era, there's still some stuff worth collecting. There's still that Bo Jackson, the one where he has the football pads and then he's holding the bat behind him. That one's still a very sought after card. That's a lot of people want that one still. Yep. He's actually, it doesn't even matter. Bo Jackson's someone everyone's still looking for.
I think the hobby got kind of like with the whole 2020 year with the Burrow and all of them and how that went off, and then with COVID and how everybody got back into the hobby and just everything that's happened in the last couple of years. I think the hobby kind of like got this bad look on it. With like, oh, nobody's into 80s and 90s. That's all junk. There's no money there. Everybody was into flipping, making money, this, that, whatever. But I think people don't understand, like, there was still a market for all of these, like the junk wax era, like just stuff like that. Now, obviously, yeah, you weren't making $1,000 a card, but like 50 cents a card, 80 cents, 75 cents a card, $1 a card on some of that stuff. Like if you were a collector of that player or of that team, like for instance, like I like Terrell Owens, like he's one of my favorite NFL players of all time. If someone showed me like one of his cards and they said, "Oh, do you want this for $1 or $2?" Like I probably would buy it because I like him. So there's still a market for all that stuff. It's hard right now to see it because you go on TikTok, you go on all this social media stuff. It's all about the Luka 1 of 1 and the Justin Fields 1 of 1 and all this like high dollar stuff that most of us aren't going to see in our lifetime because we can't afford that stuff anyway.
And then it
Well, I'm
hurts
not-
the value of everything else because
Exactly. It
you
brings
even
everything
watch-
else down because it puts a bad bad look on it. Like, oh, these cards aren't worth nothing because they're not one of ones. They're not $1,000 cards. That's not really realistic it is for the people that can afford all that stuff, but there's more of us down here in the middle and at the bottom that like collect and buy stuff than there are at the top, I believe.
I mean, like backyard breaks when they break cards, you see them open a pack. They take all the base cards, throw them on the floor, and they look for the
Yeah.
high stuff. It's like, but those base cards might be
Yeah.
something
And-
someone collects, right?
And I hate that, but at the same time, like sometimes I do get it because like if it's me and I'm selling something, like if I'm starting to like find this high dollar stuff, I start to realize like I know people aren't buying these base stuff. But then whenever I get into like the market, I realize at the flea market people want that stuff. Then I start going back to like, no, I gotta save all this base because I can put it in there for $1 a piece. People will go after it. But so I can see how backyard, like in a lot of these places that like they just focus on the high dollar stuff. Like I can understand why they do that stuff, but at the same time, like I also see like all right, there is some value to that stuff, even though you don't think there is. Like there is still some value to that stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So, now that we kind of got done freestyling, we might have to go back into that still. But so baseball season's coming up.
It is.
I'm excited because that's my favorite time of year. I like
Can't-
baseball more than
Can't wait
football.
to watch my Cubbies be below 500 again this year.
Hey, at least you guys made some moves to get close to 500.
We'll get close.
But yeah, I enjoy baseball a lot more than football just because I played it my whole life, and there's always so much more into baseball, I feel like, than there is any other sport. And um so we're gonna go over who we think is gonna be the division winner. I don't know if you guys want to start it, if you want me to start it.
Why don't you
Well,
start
if-
each division and I'll give, or you can divvy it out. I mean,
Okay.
Josh.
I'll
I'd
tell you
like
right
you to
now.
start with
I'll tell you right
Josh.
now. I'm
I
not
want you to start
excited
with
for this
Josh.
season. I'm not excited for this. Yeah, actually, let me start because I'll explain to people. Like, I love all sports, and I love baseball in playoff season. Same thing with basketball. Basketball is one of my favorite sports to play, but I can't stand watching it during the year. So like baseball, I know nothing about except for some of the players and things like that. But yeah, I can start because like literally, if you want to bet anybody, you want to bet someone like me who knows nothing about it, doesn't really have a care in the world for it, and I'm gonna probably give you a off the wall pick that's gonna probably end up winning. But
All right, how about this?
these,
How about
these
we'll
guys?
go-
You guys are gonna think way too much into it. We need
Nah.
we need to mark this down and keep track of who wins the divisions because I think I'm on top, and I don't even know nothing about this stuff. I think I'll come.
All right,
out.
how about
Alright.
this? Let's start with each division. Where each pick. We're start off with the AL East. Okay, so who do you have, Josh, in the AL East?
All right, that's Tampa Bay, right? And then
Yeah,
okay, I just want to make sure because I thought there's only two divisions before we started
no,
the show.
no, you're good.
So-
No,
All right.
there's two leagues. It's just like in football. You got the national and the American.
So something else I've figured out too is there's 10 teams in baseball that have like way more money than everybody else, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is that how it
yeah.
works? And those are the 10 teams that usually are always in it and they're always going to be in it. Cause that's another reason
no,
I hate
not,
baseball.
not
Not
always.
necessarily.
That's
Not
all right,
necessarily.
all right. So I'm going to assume that the Yankees are probably, well, the Rays maybe, but the Yankees are top of the line for the AL East. But I'm not going to pick the Yankees because everybody's going to pick the Yankees. This is my gambling mind coming into play here. I'm not going to take the Yankees. I'm going to take Blue Jays. Still, they have Bo Bichette, right? Is he any good anymore still?
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Rays because Wander Franco's on the Rays, correct?
Yep.
Yes,
Is he
correct.
playing? Is he still hurt?
No.
No, he's good. He's
I
been,
could pull.
he's-
I could pull
he's
for the
said
Rays.
very
I'm gonna
good.
go. I'm gonna go with the Rays. I'm gonna go with the Rays.
Okay. All right. We got
You two pick
got
the
lucky.
Yankees because I know you guys
It's-
are.
It's the Yankees. Aaron Judge may not have
Exactly.
62 home runs again, but he's definitely going to ball out, and I don't think the Yankees are going to lose that division.
I got the Blue Jays.
Ooh,
I don't have
okay.
the Yankees. It took a monster year for Aaron Judge for them to win last year, and Aaron Judge has a knack for being hurt. He's not going
That's
to put up
true.
six. He's not going to put up 62. And you know what? Stanton was healthy most of the year too, and he also has a knack for being hurt a lot. I think both of them end up getting hurt this year. They missed some time. Vladimir Guerrero had an off year last year. and I
did not
just
remember him.
I just think Toronto. I think Toronto. I think it's gonna be very close, and I do think it's gonna be one of those divisions that comes down to like the last week or maybe the last time they play each other. But I have Toronto just squeaking by the Yankees.
I'd like to go
Remember,
on record to say that I first said Toronto, but I'm still sticking with the Rays. But I did first bring up Toronto, so it's just I was
I'm
on that.
I'm giving you guys. He said pick the winners of the division. Doesn't mean that I want them to win the division. Remember that. I would like to see the Rays win that division.
Yes,
but
yeah.
I'm telling you, if we're
Yeah.
putting money on this, I'm going Yankees.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I would say
All
you
right.
have the upside of that for sure.
Next, we got the AL Central. Josh, you can. I think you can just start each one. Josh,
Yep.
how about that?
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, AL Central. Kansas City has Bobby Witt. I'm trying to go off of players that I remember. Twins, no. Tigers, no. Guardians, trash. White Sox, I feel like they're still trash.
It's not
Did
the
they-
strongest division in baseball. Neither Central division I feel is like really that strong, both in National
I'm gonna
League
go
and
with
American
Royals
League.
just because of Bobby Witt, which I don't even know if that helps them at all because I don't know what their team's like. But I'm gonna go with the Royals.
Doesn't really help.
All
They're
right.
probably gonna take last.
There's this division. There's only one team that's going to go to the playoffs this year out of that division. It's the
Chicago.
Guardians.
Oh, Guardians, really?
Because the Guardians last year, what were they missing? They were missing some good power hitting. Didn't they just sign Josh Bell?
Yeah, and they won
gonna
92. They won
Josh
92
Bell.
games.
I do know this. He came from the Pirates, right?
No,
Josh Bell
he
played for the Pirates?
No, he was it the
Did he start? Josh Bell
Nationals?
started at the Pirates, I thought.
He might have. I can't remember. You might be right.
Neither here nor there. He's definitely going to help them push forward, and they're the only ones I see getting anywhere out of that division.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had the Guardians, but I think the Yankees are the White Sox improved. They could be a sleeper to beat them, but yeah, I got the Guardians.
I like my Royals pick now because you guys don't like that division at all anyway. So to me, it
now
seems
you
like
love
it's,
it, huh?
Where did the Royals finish last year?
Last, they always finish last.
But-
They're a last place team.
All right, but how many games behind last were they? How behind?
You don't want to know. I think they won I think they won 62 games last year.
All right, we can't change our picks, right?
No,
You could
because
no,
I'm telling you,
no.
remember,
I'm
you're
still
just worried
sticking-
about them.
I'm still sticking.
Oh,
by
are
the
they
Royals.
last in the division? Even if they were number one in the division, are they even going to make the playoffs?
Oh, that's true.
All
But it don't matter if they make the playoffs. It's just about who wins the division.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, winning division automatically puts you in the playoffs, anyways. So,
Oh.
but all right. So, AL West.
All right, American League West. All right, here.
I'm interested to see his pick on this one.
Obviously, I know Astros, but they just won last year, correct? Am I that far ahead? Okay. It's not. I'm not going to the Astros, obviously, because there's I don't think they're going to do it again. I would love to say the Angels. I want to say the Angels. I want to see Ohtani and I want to
No
see
way.
Trout do it, but I'm already hearing that they're like still thinking about trading Ohtani, and who knows
No.
what happens to Trout throughout the year.
The only way they trade them is if they have really another down year like they did last year. But I don't think
Which
that's
they
gonna
probably
happen.
will because the Angels suck in general.
No, they had a lot of injuries last year, and they made some really good moves this year. They're going to be a contender as long as they stay healthy. They will contend very, very good. They're
All right,
going to be a
here's
stronger
I'm
team.
I'm staying away from the Athletics because I remember in the breaks everybody doesn't want them. I'm staying away from the Athletics. I'm staying away from the Rangers. 'cause I don't
They're
think
probably
that's
the
good
worst
Rangers.
team in baseball. The A's will
Okay.
probably be the worst team in baseball.
Mariners. I know they have Julio, but how good are the Mariners?
Good.
They're good.
Good.
And Kelnick is second in home runs.
I'm gonna
this
go with the
2020.
Mariners because of Rodriguez. I'm gonna go with the Mariners. I think the Astros they already won. I think they have a down year. Angels they can't win nothing. They're like probably like the Browns, I believe, of the MLB. So I'm gonna go against the Angels because I'm hoping that they trade Trout because I do have a Trout rookie card and I want that card to go up and up and up. And I think he needs a World Series win to really put that up over the top. So I'm gonna go with the Mariners.
Okay. Lucky.
Astros.
That's
They
a
have the
common
best
pick.
in
Basic
MLB.
pick.
They have probably the best lineup top to bottom. the Astros do. Jordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena, Altuve, Abreu, Bregman. They have a lot of hit. And their pitching lineup was very good. And they just added Hunter Brown, which made his debut last year. 20.1 innings pitched, and it was like 0.89 ERA. He's going to help them because they lost Verlander. So I think, though, the Mariners with J-Rod could give them a hard time, but I still think Astros pull out.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think this is last year Astros win it. I think as long as the Mariners young core continue to develop like they did last year, they will definitely give the Astros a run for their money. Now, don't forget Altuve is out for a while because he got hit by a pitch in the World Baseball Classic, and he's out for a while. But that team's deep. That lineup's deep enough that they can
It's so
miss
deep.
him and still compete. So I do have the Astros, and I have the Mariners right behind them, and I have the Angels making the playoffs as probably the last seeded wild card team because they did expand last year. They expanded the wild card, so I do have the Angels staying healthy enough to make the playoffs. Is probably the seventh seed.
Remember, though, the Mariners, I'm not saying they can't do it. They very well could take out Houston.
Yeah, they could.
I'm putting my money on Houston, but the Mariners, I'm a little nervous of them if I'm the Astros. I'm scared.
Yeah, they're and like I said, if it's not this year, it's probably next year. They will leapfrog the Astros and probably be a top 3 team in baseball. That's what I think.
Yeah. If you're not already, start collecting Julio Rodriguez, because if he really takes some places, those cards are going to skyrocket.
I would actually none of my Killnicks sold at the card show because obviously no one wanted him after the season he had last year. Man, he looks real good this spring. If you can get some of his stuff right now, I'd get on it because if he continues that through the season, he was already hyped coming out of the minors. You know, he just had a bad first year, and it happens a lot of times. It's not that big of a deal, but he looks like he's ready more this year than he was last year. And if that continues, man, his cards could skyrocket. So. Okay, so we're moving over to the NL. So we will go to the NL East.
NL East. So far, I'm liking 2 of my 3 picks already. I'm just going to say that. All right, NL East. We got Phillies, Nationals, Marlins, Braves, and Mets. Mets just lost a big pitcher in the WBC, didn't they?
Their
or at least
closer.
the closer or something.
They
like
have
that.
so much depth, though. They have so much depth.
They did a lot. Did they do a lot this offseason?
They got Verlander.
Verlander. And they got a guy from Japan. I wish I could pronounce his name. Yeah.
And
not to mention Pete Alonso.
Harper's still in Philadelphia, right?
Huh?
Yeah. Harper's still in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but he just had Tommy John. He's out for like the first half of the season.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right, so it's definitely not the Marlins. Although the Marlins jerseys on Friday home opener or on Friday home games, I don't know if you guys saw that tweet. It is fire. It's like the old teal colors or something like that.
I agree. Those uniforms are awesome. Are you saying you're going to pick the Marlins because their uniforms look nice?
I'm not. I don't think they're going to be good at all. But I just love their jerseys. I just happen to remember.
They are fire. They are fire.
I'm torn between the Phillies and the Mets, but with Harper being out, I'm gonna go the Mets. I'm gonna go the Mets. I think they pulled out this year and go and win that division. Who won the division last year? It wasn't the Mets, was it?
It was the Braves.
Wasn't it? It was down there to the Mets and the Braves, wasn't it?
Well, the Mets blew a 13-game lead in the division.
That's what it was. Yeah, I remember that because I remember watching a lot of things. So I'm gonna go with the Mets. I think they pulled out this year. I think they did made a lot of good transactions in the offseason, and I think the Mets will be the team this year.
It's been the Atlanta show in that division more years than not. Since 2001, isn't it like 11 titles or something like that? The Braves are really good.
Yeah, they hold the record. I think it's shit. I wish I could remember. It's like 15 divisional wins in a row.
Yeah, so I think that stops this year. I think the Mets take it with Verlander and their pitching lineup could be a nightmare to some lineups. So I'll put my money on the Mets this year.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to, but we have a saying in Atlanta. The Mets will always Met. And what that means is that the Mets will always do good and then shit the bed at the end of the year because they do it year in, year out.
That is what they did last year. They definitely had some bad stuff happen to them in the last few games. But you know what? Times change.
times do change, and they can, but their problem has always been inconsistency towards the end of the year. They always have major injuries at some point. Obviously, they already lost the best closer in baseball. Scherzer is getting older. He to get hurt a lot too. Um, even though he had that he's not younger. You know, I think he's 41 now or 40. He's one of those two, so he's not getting any younger. So, and I just feel the Braves have just a way better lineup than them and capable of hitting the Mets pitching. So I will go with the Braves, but I think it's going to be very close. Now, if Harper was healthy, the Phillies would definitely give the Mets and the Braves a run for their money. But
Oh,
just
they
because,
would for sure.
yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing it was last year. I think regardless of who wins that division, Braves, Mets, and Phillies are all going to, they're all going to go to the playoffs. You know, don't forget the Phillies picked up Trey Turner.
They did.
And we all saw how he looked in the baseball classic. So that is going to be interesting. So, okay, so we move on to the other weak division here, the NL Central.
Yeah.
So who you got, Josh?
All right. So I got the Pirates. Terrible. I even live in Pittsburgh. They're absolutely terrible. Reds are terrible. Cubs awful.
Hey, easy there. Just bad, okay?
You know what? I like, man, I was looking at the odds. So I'm like actually looking like what this is gonna if I parlay all this together. And
Yeah.
Cardinals are one of the only teams that are minus 129 in the NL. And then the next one after them is the Brewers at plus 170. The reason I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, this is the only reason, is I just saw here today, which is crazy. I get all this baseball info and I don't even pay attention to baseball. But I just saw today that what's his name? Oh, is it Jordan Walker?
Yeah.
So I have his auto. I think I showed you like whatever a month or so ago. So I just saw that he made the opening day lineup.
He is a beast.
That's what I heard. I have an auto of his. No, I can't remember what's even number 2. I might have to reprice that when I get back down south. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals in this one just because of that, because I want them to do good, just so that card keeps going up.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about how great the Cubs.
I mean,
are
I
gonna
know
be
you're
this year.
shocked I'm picking all these great picks right now, but
Yeah, no. They say and go Cubs. Go. No, it's not gonna be the Cubs. The only answer in that division is the Cardinals. That's it. It's gonna be the Cardinals. I didn't even write notes about them. I just said I wrote NL Central Cardinals. Cubs won't be 500. That's all I wrote for my notes.
Yeah, no, I got the Cardinals as well. It's just the Brewers are the only other decent team in that division, and even at that, they're not that great. So, yeah, I got the Cardinals, and that's it. They're going to be the only teams making the playoffs out of that one. So another fun division, the NL West.
Yeah,
this is a hard one for me.
So
go ahead, Josh.
I'm totally off Rockies, Diamondbacks, and correct me. Is there anything going on with the Giants? You would know, Scotty. Nothing really.
Nope.
All right, so I'm totally off the Giants. Those odds on those 2-3 teams just show how good the Dodgers and the Padres are going to be. Dodgers, I know they're always pretty good. I don't know if they have any good pickups. Is Tatis going to be back at all, or
he's missing the first 20 games is all he's missing.
Yep.
And they still have Soto and Machado and all them.
They're stacked.
Yeah.
I always like the underdog, so I'm going Padres. Dodgers are favored to win that division, according to Barstool. So I'm going Padres in that.
It's a toss-up, man. I can't pick between them. I want to see the Padres win, and they have a very good shot. I just don't think the Dodgers are losing. I'm going Dodgers.
I got the Padres, and I don't even have a doubt on it. I'm 100% in on the Padres winning. The Dodgers lost Bellinger, they lost Trey Turner, they lost Lux. You know, they don't even have their shortstop.
They got JD Martinez and Jason Hayward, which adds some veteran help.
Yeah, sure. Jason Hayward. I mean, he's
Jason Hayward, isn't he like 80?
2016 World Series champion with the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah,
so you
like
Yeah,
when he was like 50 then. Now he's like 70.
he'll
He'll
provide
bring
a
a little
nice
luck.
he'll provide a nice 260 10
Yeah.
home run bat to that
He'll
lineup.
probably
But
be able to bring in some of his canes.
J-
Like, he probably has like
JD
walking canes.
JD Martinez hasn't been that great the last couple seasons. He's not the same hitter he once was. He's still really good, but he's just no. If your plan was to replace JT Martinez with Trey, with instead of having Trey Turner, you have JT Martinez now, you're in trouble. So I feel the Padres are just way too strong. That lineup is
That's
just going to
true.
produce. I just feel like that lineup is going to produce just too much offense for teams to compete with, and I don't think the Dodgers will compete. I think they win by like 5 or 6 games.
That's all the divisions, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
is,
everything right there.
Since
I'm
you're
trying to-
hosting the episode, I'm gonna make Lucky's bold pick, and I'm putting money on this right after the show. I want you to read it out loud since you're the host.
Guardians win World Series on a plus 2,500 bet.
Guardians.
I'm putting it on.
Guardians, do it.
Sleeper
Do
pick.
I like
Sleeper pick.
my division parlay. Although the only one I don't like is the Royals because they are plus 3,000 to win the division, so that's probably not going to hit. But my division parlay, $100 on my parlay, you win 612,000.
Oh wow!
On my division, but if I was a betting man, I'm taking out the Royals, because they're obviously plus 3,000. I'm probably going to put in the Guardians at plus 130. So now it makes only about $45,000 bet. So
There you go.
but
Man, that's
you
a
never
big
know.
difference.
He said only.
That's, yeah.
It's only 45 grand. Whatever.
All right, so you think Guardians will win the World Series?
Yep.
What's your
It's a
pick?
sleeper pick.
What's your pick, Scotty?
Ooh.
World Series champion.
Padres or Braves?
Yeah,
The Braves?
I could back the Padres for sure.
The Braves are just I think they're even better than what they were last year, to
I
be
don't like the
honest.
Braves. I
But
don't
the
like
Mets are going to be
Yankees,
better than them.
Padres.
Nah, Mets aren't going to be better than them. even if they don't win their division and they go in as a wild card, I still believe the Braves, as long as they still. Ronald Acuna is going to have a monster year. Calling it right now. He's going to have a monster year. In fact, put him down for MVP of National League.
Trying to
what I
think
think.
of anybody.
And Shohei will be MVP of American League. He's not going to get.
How do you,
pulled
I mean,
out.
how is the Cardinals besides Walker? How's the Cardinals as a team look?
They have Nolan Arenado. They have Paul Goldschmidt. Like they have really good talent. Like
Yeah, if I had to stay away from,
they're a really good team.
If I had to stay away from the top four, and the only reason I'm not picking the Mets is because it's the Mets to win. If I had to stay away from the top four, I'm probably looking at. Let me see here. I like the Cardinals, the Angels, the Padres. Those are my three that I like to win the World Series. Obviously, the Angels are. I just want that to happen because of Ohtani and Trout. But I do think if that team could stay completely healthy and they could actually win a couple games, they would actually be halfway decent. But the Cardinals, I would think, is a sleeper. And then the Padres is probably my best. I think if Tatis stays off the steroids and that team can just stay together, I think they have a solid team there.
That was a medication issue right from his injury. Maybe he wasn't really on him, but
that's what they all say. He's
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what
I'll put up my last bold pick. I want Scotty to read it again.
Ekman has a child in 2023 and Scotty.
That's just, you can't put that on me. That is just
flea market,
wrong.
baby.
That is wrong in so many ways.
Here's my bold prediction in 2040.
I'm not against kids. But I'm not against kids. You can't put that on me.
In 2041, Ekman finds out that it wasn't his.
Really? We gotta go. What is that? Almost 20 years?
That's 18 years.
18 years? Oh, yeah.
It's from the Kanye song. After 18 years, he found out it wasn't his.
18 years.
That's
So-
such bad mojo right there to put on me like that.
Be happy, Josh.
Hey.
Not that I'm
Hey.
against kids. I love kids. Love my niece and nephew to death. And if I ever have one, I would be very grateful. But you
Hey, how
put
about
that on
this?
me like that.
I'll send you a shirt that says "Pull Out King" on it. How about that? Wear that to your flea market. It'll be
Yeah,
a good conversation piece.
that would be a very good. I've learned that's another thing I gotta start investing more into is what I wear down there because yeah, you need conversation starters down there. With everybody coming through there, so that might be something I might have to look at.
Very, very simple. I'll simplify for you. Huge gold chain, Hawaiian shirt halfway unbuttoned, little bit of stubble, not too much. And you got to
Okay.
say
And
buddy a
one-
lot. Hey, buddy.
and one
Buddy.
gold tooth, one gold tooth
Yeah.
in the front.
I could
Buddy.
probably do that.
So, all right, you guys got anything else?
I'm good.
You good, Ekman?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. I mean, what almost an hour there, but here's
Yeah.
the thing, and to all the listeners out there, like I know, or I don't know how much we're growing on YouTube and where we're going, but I think of this. I think you guys would say the same thing. I think of this as just a long-term thing that down the road it's gonna click one day where we're gonna get viewers in here, we're gonna get people listening to us. But I think a lot of this stuff that we're coming up with, and people got any of the listeners like Jared and the people that listen to us regularly, give us some ideas of what you guys want to hear us talk about because we're not really strictly just here to talk about like just whatever sports or cards or whatever it is. Like we'll talk about. I mean, we could get into like a little bit of Pokemon stuff here and there because I've been doing a lot of that down there. Just different things here and there. But I think this is really going well. I've been excited about where it's going in the future. But I think if we just keep at it, it's going to keep growing. So
I
And
agree.
it's fun. I have a good time, anyways. Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
for sure.
We
Yep.
have a good time with each other, and then this eventually is going to take off because of all of our hard work and determination. So the more content that you guys want to see us put out is what we'll do, so that we can have fun and you can have fun watching us. So
Yep. So, okay. With that said, thank you for everyone that took the time to listen, and we will see you next week on the next episode. Appreciate everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
bye.
Yep.